Hi there, my name is Sebastian Straub and I'm the Principal Solutions Architect at N2WS. In this video, we'll talk about a feature of N2WS version 3.2.0, the new and improved file level recovery. File level recovery does require a worker configuration, and we have a separate video on that because we will spin up a temporary instance to allow browsing of the backups. On the upside, we have now the ability to use CBT, change block tracking, which means we can access the content without actually having to rehydrate the data. Let me show you how this works. First, you want to make sure that you have a worker configuration set within N2WS Backup and Recovery. You'll find this here on the left side of the screen. Make sure that you create a worker which runs in the region and in the account where your backups are being prepared. You should also make sure that you have connectivity between the N2WS server and those worker instances as well. Those servers, the N2WS server and the worker instance, have to be able to communicate with each other over port 443 and also port 22. As long as that is done, you're going to be fine. Now let's go to Backup Monitor. That's where we can see the backups that we've performed. That's our single pane of glass. And I'm going to choose one of my backups. Let's choose one of my Windows backups that I have. I'm going to click on Recover. I'm going to choose my resource, and then that's my File Level Explorer. I'm going to click on that. Now you can see over here, initializing file level recovery, and I can go directly to that session as well. And now you can see over here on the left side of the screen, that's my file level recovery sessions. So that is currently spinning up. That worker instance will connect to the backup and then allow me to browse through the content of those backups. One new addition to this feature, so we're going to hop back real quick while that's spinning up. I'm going to show you that as well. Now we also have the ability to perform the file level recovery from Linux-based instances, Windows-based instances, and also separate EBS volumes, because you have the option now to store that information also in S3, and it makes no difference if it's still a snapshot or if it's stored in S3. Just to give you an idea what this looks like, I'm going to show you one of my policies. So this policy backs up separate volumes, and I also have a nice data lifecycle defined where some of the data gets then stored in my S3 archive, and I'm going to get rid of the snapshots. So just for show and tell, let's use that one as well. So I'm going to select one of my backups of separate EBS volumes. I have no more snapshots available, but I have the data available in S3. So I'm going to click on Recover. And of course, Restore From will be from my S3 repository. So we're not going to confuse you by showing you options that you don't have. So the data is still available, but only in the S3 archive. So that section is grayed out in this case. That's the volume in question that we backed up and that we archived into S3. And again, I have the option now to explore this. So if I do this, same thing appears. Initializing file level recovery. I'm going to take a look at that session, and it's going to load this up as well. So let's switch back to my Windows instance, and there we go. So under file level recovery sessions, we can now find that Windows session that I opened, and here you can see the content. And over here, I also have the option then to retrieve this information as well if I wanted to. You also have the option to search through the content as well. And you can also change the search depth on this as well if I want to look into a particular file and folder structure. Okay. Now, let's also take a look at that independent volume, the volume that we backed up and archived into S3 that's not attached directly to an instance. And there it is. That's my independent volumes. And even though the data is archived into S3, we do have the ability to browse through the content of that data as well and retrieve data from it. Another thing that's interesting is because we now have two file level recovery sessions open. If I just select this one more time, you can also see that both of these sessions, the instance browsing and also the independent volume, both of them are open. So if I wanted to, I have the option to have multiple sessions open, and when I want to dip back into that session, I can do so by selecting the session and clicking on Explore. Once I'm done with a session, it's usually best if I go ahead and close that session so that the temporary instance can be terminated right away. You're going to see it's currently closing, and in a moment, you're going to see the section where it says closed successfully as well. So obviously, the nice thing here now is that we have the ability through the direct EBS to get directly into the backups. There is no need to actually rehydrate the data in order to browse through the content. And also, even if the data has been archived into S3, you're not losing out on that granularity to be able to perform a file and folder level recovery. Right, I hope you enjoyed this. This was very helpful for you, and I hope you're going to join me in the next video as well. Have a great day.